Can I ask that? Like, any tips for anal?
My name's Siouxsie Q. I'm an author, columnist for the San Francisco Weekly, a podcaster, and I'm a sex worker.
I'm Mickey Maud, and I'm an adult performer.
What kind of performer?
I work primarily in BDSM porn.
What do you do in the sex work industry?
Escort, I'm a pro-dom, I model for adult films.
My name is Venus Lux, my stage name, and my occupation is CEO, performer, model, anything in an adult industry, basically.
So first off, let me just ask, what are some questions you feel people should just not ever ask sex workers?
I really hate it when people ask me how much I charge. It's like inappropriate. Like, it would be weird if you
Like if someone asked me how much I make.
Yeah, it's weird. You don't do that. Oh, you're a sex worker? Can you tell me how to have a threesome with my wife? I'm like, no.
Why do you think sex work is such a taboo subject?
I'm Chinese, and so in my culture, we don't not talk about sex at all. Being in porn actually helps me open up that dialogue of like, how can you actually have sex with a transsexual? What does that look like?
Think about it, the country was basically started by the people who weren't cool enough to live in Europe. We have a whole lot of shame about sex. Like, we don't provide comprehensive sexual education to anybody.
Currently in the United States, sex work, prostitution specifically, is criminalized. Already there is a stigma around sexuality, specifically women leveraging their sexuality for profit.
It's easier to talk about violence in this country than it is to talk about sex.
Which is so weird to me.
Yeah.
Sex is so much more fun than violence.
Exactly.
Why haven't we figured that out?
What do you think some of the most common misconceptions of sex workers are?
I think people see us as worth less than someone who doesn't do sex work.
People have a misconception about sex work, that it's this like kind of like sleazy, shady thing, but it's actually like probably the most honest interaction that you can have.
So how did your close friends and family react when they found out that you wanted to pursue this profession?
My mom was so not happy about it. But then over time, she kind of faded out with that, understanding that I am looking at this as a professional, doing this as a career.
A big stigma that I've been told is, sex workers don't have relationships or significant others.
I think it's important to remember that sex work is my job.
If I perform, they have to be able to be patient, understanding, and respectful that it's for work purposes. I come home to you.
Because we live in a society where prostitution and a lot of sex work is criminalized, it does put a lot of people at risk. Have you ever feared for your own life in this industry?
I've definitely been scared about if someone robs me. My own body, I definitely fear if someone would assault me. Like, what would I do? Would I call the police? I don't know. It's daunting to know that you are not protected by the law.
How do you feel that the treatment of men and women differs in this industry?
I think the outside perception is that men in this industry are lucky and don't have any problems, and it's a dream job.
When we're talking about women doing sex work, everybody wants to talk about victims and exploitation.
I mean, it's funny that is the perception, but I think the women of the industry definitely run the show.
They're the stars of the show a lot of times.
Exactly. Generally, porn is made for a male audience. That is heterosexual, cis white male audience. That's what they want to see. I know, boring.
I'm speaking on both behalf of transgender men and women. We are like 10, 20 years behind. We only have like 5 companies that shoot transsexual pornographies.
What do you think are some things that society can do in order to be more understanding to sex workers?
I think the most important thing that people can do is listen to sex workers. In the United States of America, there's a House Bill 1614 to decriminalize prostitution. If you really want to end trafficking, you need to decriminalize sex work.
I never even thought of it as a business, but here you are, you've made it by yourself.
Yeah.
And people don't know that exists.
Wow.